Hello there, today I'll be reviewing a $99 Android-based gaming console called the OUYA. Now if you don't know what the OUYA is already, it's basically a Android-based console that lets you play major titles that are developed for the OUYA. So you cannot play games directly from the Play Store, they must be on the OUYA marketplace in order for you to play them, but nonetheless, as you can see, the frame rate is spectacular and you can already see that it's a great gaming console for $99. But let's go ahead and get right into the review so then I can tell you the downsides, the upsides, everything about it that you would like to know about the OUYA, and most likely why you should buy one. So if we hop it on its backside, you can see that we have one Ethernet port, a micro USB port, a full HDMI port, and a single USB port. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what the controller has to offer. As you can see, the button layout is labeled OUYA right to left. Also, the button layout resembles the Xbox 360 controller, and I actually like that design. It's a very smart design, and I'm glad that they went with that design. The controller itself is powered by two AA batteries that are protected by a shield, which is easily removable and can also be replaced. The buttons on the controller are also very tactile. I really did like that about the controller. It was a really nice touch. Along with the triggers on the back of the controller, they are also very nice to touch, and I really did enjoy playing first-person shooters with them. They're really tactile as well, and yeah, I just like pressing buttons. Now let's go ahead and hook it up to our TV. Once you have plugged in the power cable, you can then hold down on the OUYA button and then it'll power on. After that, you'll be greeted with a message on the screen telling you to press the U button on your controller. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Just press the button and then it will lock in to the OUYA, and then you can press a button to get out of it and go to your main menu. Let's hop into the play feature. As you can see, I have 6 games right now. I actually have some of the best games right now in my inventory. I have an emulator, a game, but let's go ahead and go to Discover. Discover is basically how you find the games. So they are all labeled under Featured, VIP Room, Trending Now, a bunch of different sections in which you can find some really cool games. But what's cool about the OUYA is that you can download any game in the marketplace. So let's say I just want to go down and, don't thumbs it up, guess I did that first. But anyways, let's go to more info. You can see that you got more info. And then you can press download, and you can pretty much download any game. So that is awesome. You see a game, you want to play it, you download it. It's as simple as that. I know sometimes you go to GameStop, you go like, oh man, I really want that game, but I just can't get it, I don't have the money. You can download any game, except it just depends on the limitations that the developer gives for the free download. And then you have the option to download it later, and then sometimes it'll just be a totally free game. But as you can see, there are different categories. So right here I'm an FPS/shooter. These are some really good games in here. Stupid Zombies 2, you might recognize that from Android, like the Play Store and stuff. Some games from the Play Store are being ported over to the OUYA. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to the Make section. So if you want to become a developer, you can get the builds from the website that navigates you to. But as you can see, there is a browser, and you can also sideload apps. So here I've sideloaded an app called Root Browser. It basically lets me view my files, and yeah, you can see that I have ROMs there, which I'll get into next. So there is an emulator called Mupen64. It basically lets you play Nintendo 64 games, and there are lots of other emulators out in the OUYA marketplace for you to download, such as Game Boy Advanced, let's say PlayStation 1, lots of games. But as you can see right there, I do, yes I do, have Zelda on my OUYA. It runs perfectly fine, which is the almost scary thing. It's just so amazing how you can now pretty much pay $99 to relive your childhood. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. I remember this playing on the Nintendo 64 when I was like 9 or 10. It was just freaking awesome. It's just so fun to relive my childhood dream like this, play the best Nintendo 64 game on a $99 Android console. You can do so much with the OUYA, and this is probably why I highly recommend the OUYA, is for emulators. That is pretty much why I recommend the OUYA, is for emulators. And also, probably in a year, it won't be good enough for regular games. But now let's go ahead and play a very popular game on the OUYA called Bomb Squad. This is basically a run around wreak havoc game. You can play it with up to 16, 12, 4, I'm not even sure how many people you can play it with at one time, locally of course, but it's pretty fun to play co-op by yourself. As you can see, you can run around, pick up these blocks. These blocks give you different types of bombs, and you can basically pick up the bombs, throw them at people. You can just cook them, hold them, and then once you throw them, they'll blow up instantly. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I highly recommend it for any OUYA owner out there watching this. This is a really great game. If you've been hesitant on getting it, I highly recommend it. And if you download it for free, which is awesome because it's an OUYA feature, then you have a free hour to play it by yourself without any hassle or advertisement or anything. It's an awesome game, and I understand why it is one of the top rated OUYA games on the market right now. And it does play well, as you can see. Frame rate is pretty good, pretty awesome, and the graphics really surprised me on a Tegra 3 processor. So now let's take a look in the manage setting. Let's go to our system. As you can see, we have a bunch of other options, but for now let's go to our system. Let's go to advanced, and as you can see, we have our stock Android settings. Of course, we have Ethernet, some different stuff, the OUYA account, and let's go down to about console, and let's double click on the Android version, Android 4.1.2, and you can actually access the Jelly Bean Easter egg. I just felt that necessary to include in the video because that's probably my favorite thing to do. Another great thing about the controller on the OUYA is that it actually has a trackpad on the front of the device. So if you go ahead and tap on the front, you might be able to see it in the background on the TV screen, there's actually a cursor in which you can click on stuff. So here I am browsing a website in the browser, and I'd say that it is pretty smooth. I gotta tell you, web browsing on this is actually pretty convenient. I didn't really find it cumbersome, except for the fact that the trackpad is a little edgy and scrolling through with a controller isn't very intuitive, but I did find web browsing pretty nice, I guess you could say, for a console. This is probably the best console web browsing experience you could ever, I guess, experience on a console. And yeah, web browsing, I guess it's okay, and I don't really know how to end on that. And now we're just left with the OUYA console itself. The score that I give it is a 91%. Call me crazy, but for $99, I'll just say you can have a lot of fun, relive your childhood, and probably experience web browsing in the most awkward way possible. So yeah guys, thanks for watching this video, and I will talk to you all later.